So I want to talk about how AI is actually affecting the labor market. So here's how AI is actually affecting the labor market. So I'm going to pull up these stats for you to take a look at over here. But if you look at this, okay, this is people on Reddit over here, okay? So it
Okay.
says graphic designer here. I haven't been fully replaced yet, but the landscape has completely changed. Clients now expect me to use AI as a co-pilot, generating initial concepts, mood boards, and even rough copy minutes, not hours. The job is becoming less about executing the first idea and more about curating, refining, and adding the crucial human touch. It feels like I lost my job and more like my job description was rewritten overnight. The pressure to constantly adapt is the real challenge. Here's another one. I was a literary editor for one of the largest sci-fi presses in the world. My boss, the executive editor, retired and the company reassessed their practices. So after 15 years working for the greater good of sci-fi, I got outsourced to a goddamn robot. Let's do one more, okay? Was making 3D models for 20 years, but since AI became a thing, most people just skip the 3D stage altogether and just generate the final model or image, final image or video instead. AI is still trash at 3D modeling, but it's great at generating the final product, making the models themselves unnecessary. Working retail now. So you want to talk about how AI is affecting the labor market? I mean, this seems like it's just the beginning. And like one more, the chatbot gets to carry the whole. This entire support team got laid off. I'll say one more thing. I got on a call with a couple of mutual friends today. Okay, so like we do these calls every 3-4 months or so, and one person said, "I have never been more profitable than ever, for better or worse. I have never been more profitable than ever. We created this support bot over here. We did this.
What kind of company was that?
You've already guessed. I know that you've guessed already.
I
Yeah,
have not.
you're correct. It's
Co-
it's a software
Communications?
company. It's a software company.
I was gonna say communications.
No. No, but
See?
communications is working on it too. Communication is the same thing, but nobody's gonna say this out in public, right? But if you see people on the front line saying this, and we say behind the scenes people are saying this.
They have a software company that plugs into a bigger platform?
Uh-huh. Yes. Yes.
It was one or the two.
Yeah. Yeah, but like so I think it's helpful for us to talk about how things are changing. And my thing is like I was listening to a podcast recently and I shared it with my team on how a creative strategist now is somebody that understands how to play all these things. Like when we're interviewing a creative strategist, we just made the offer and they're joining next week. But literally, he's got Figma, 6 different designs up. He understands VO 3. He understands 3.1. He understands Nano Banana. He understands that he has to 10x or 100x himself. And then on this call today, we're just like, dude, all of us, yourself included, like you're more on the call, but like we keep saying AI, guys, we gotta adapt, we gotta adapt. But there's still people, like very small percentage people, even though they've had tenure at one friend's company for a long time, it's just like, dude, it like we can't keep you forever if you don't adapt. You can't just be scared this whole time. And so, what do you think?
When I look at those examples, and there's probably many more, and there's probably more that are gonna contradict my viewpoint, I look at a lot of those jobs as not high-level jobs. I look at a lot of those jobs as you're helping with the ideation, you're helping with one area like editing. I haven't seen AI affect too many people in roles like strategy or executive positions. I've seen it affect a lot of the lower and some mid-level positions. And I look at the workforce as changing from a pyramid where you have a CEO at the top, some management underneath, some mid-level managers, and then a ton of people at the bottom. I look at the pyramid changing more into a diamond shape.
Like an inverse pyramid.
No, not an inverse pyramid. Uh,
Diamonds
uh,
like this, inverse pyramid.
yeah, at the bottom,
Yeah.
inverse at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not the starting as the same as a pyramid.
Which is you invert the pyramid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then flip the pyramid upside down and at the bottom,
Uh-huh.
it's going backwards.
Yeah.
So you have a point at the top, a point at the bottom,
Uh-huh.
and you have a fat middle,
Oh, I got it.
right?
Yeah.
So think of like
It's two
this.
pyramids
Two
stacked on each
pyramids
other. Yeah,
stacked
yeah.
on each other,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but the bases are connected.
Uh-huh.
So the tips are at the very top and at the very bottom.
Yeah.
And I look at it as the total workforce amount is going to be lower
Yeah.
compared to the traditional pyramid.
Yeah.
You're still going to have your executive at the top. You're going to have a lot of amazing mid-level people in the middle.
I'd say executive leadership at the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're still going to have that mid-level, which could be both strategy, but they can also help with execution and they're smart in the middle.
Mhm.
But you're going to have a lot of people at the bottom who are just doing grunt work that are gone and out of a job. That's how I see the new workforce.
The way I see it is if you're going to come into workforce today, and there's a lot of pressure coming, like if you're coming out of college right now, you've got to be both strategic and you've got to be both tactical. So I don't think we can live in a world where you and I aren't like flying high sometimes where we're very high level, but sometimes we're flying our plane very low, which means you and I are getting into the work. Like you and I have always kind of got into the work, right? But the other piece is you got to fly fast too. And so it's fast, high, and low, and that's how you're gonna win. Because even with this creative strategist role, it's like they gotta be really good at strategy, but they also have to be good at implementing. And someone like you and me, if you and I were both in the workforce today, working as a marketing manager, we would be a lot more powerful because of our knowledge with marketing. We would know how to dial up content up and down. We would know how to dial up different, creative concepts up and down because we can do a lot more with what we have. So even if we know a little bit as a T-shaped marketer across the board, we can do a lot more now. And that's kind of what you're saying. We're going to be required to do a lot more. And then the other thing too is, you remember back in the day, we both weren't alive actually. So, but
Mhm.
history. Back in the day, when there were lanterns, you had to have lantern lighters at night. Those people were out of a job. When the printing press came out, all the scribes, okay, out of job. Okay, industrialization. Okay, robots doing the job. We actually have a lot of robots working today. So a lot of the work that humans actually don't want to, like, does anybody wake up in the morning saying, I want to do customer support? No. Does anybody wake up doing any of these, like, these jobs, to your point, it's not like it's it's the jobs that no humans want to do, and people might complain for right now, but in the long term, people get to do better jobs that they actually enjoy doing.
Yeah, but you nailed it right there, and that's the hard part. People will get to do better jobs,
Mhm.
but those people will want to have change, and they have to embrace it, and
Yeah.
most of them don't want change and aren't embracing it. Those are the 2 things that are really required, because if you wanna talk about the printing press or whatever it may be, people had to adapt.
Mhm.
And what I'm seeing right now is a lot of people are like, dude, this is unfair. And they're complaining instead of being proactive and being like, let me learn this new technology. And a lot of these people aren't talking about all the new opportunities AI is creating.
Yep.
They're just looking at it, it's sucking out the jobs.
Yep.
Yes, but there's been reports like by McKinsey,
Mhm.
and McKinsey ended up stating that there's going to be job losses in marketing, but because of AI, there's gonna be more new roles that are created
Mhm.
that require AI capabilities,
Yep.
and net, if you take away the losses plus the addition of new jobs,
Yep.
there's actually more total jobs in marketing than there were before
Mhm.
if you include all the new roles with AI.
Yep.
And people should just be adapting, but you and I see this all day long in corporate America. A lot of people aren't adapting.
Yeah, and I actually think we're actually gonna be doing more work. I think you're actually gonna need more engineers. I'm gonna need more engineers, and so it's I don't see this as a the world is it's constraining. It's actually expanding. That's how I see it. And then one more thing here on kind of how AI is benefiting society.
Well, let's go
Yeah, go
back.
ahead.
You saying you're needing more engineers. I agree with that statement because we're actually been hiring more engineers at
Ah,
this
yeah, yeah,
point as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Why would you say that you need more engineers in this new role?
Because there's always newer stuff to be built, and you have to build faster. It
Yes,
never stops.
it never stops.
Yeah.
You had to not only build faster, you need to ship faster, like
Uh
actually
huh.
get stuff out.
Yeah.
People want stuff shipped on a weekly basis,
Mhm.
and it's becoming ridiculous.
Yep. By the way, so you talk about shipping at a fast basis right now. So, I don't know if you saw this, but the Gemma model helped discover a new potential cancer therapy. So Gemma is from Google, and so you can see these models are okay. There's another one here. I think this is also from Google, bringing AI to the next generation of fusion energy. So we're gonna have more efficient energy. We're gonna be able to solve cancer. I think hopefully in the next decade or so, 15, 20 years, because cancer sucks, right? So people like to say AI is in a bubble. I don't think that works here when AI is actually starting to cure cancer and solving nuclear fusion. Fusion, sorry. Nuclear fusion.
There's this girl on Instagram that I follow. She's a VC. What's her name?
Asian?
She is Asian. She's really good at just breaking down VC
I think I
and
know who you're talking about.
what's this? It's something
Conviction?
talks.
Sarah Guo?
No, not Sarah Guo. It's
Something what?
her username is like something talks. Zoe talks.
Zoe Talks. I don't know
I
who
think
that
I'm
is.
spelling it right. Zauey. Zoe talks. She's a VC. Am I spelling it right?
I don't know who this is, but yeah.
She's a VC, I believe, in New York,
Okay.
and she breaks down interesting concepts like, the AI bubble.
Yeah. It's a really nice phone.
Yeah, you should have got the
I should have
iPhone
got that
Air.
phone. Yeah.
It has a lot of bugs, though. I think it's more so the software, not the
I'll wait
hardware.
for the next one. Yeah.
When she was talking about the AI bubble, and
Uh-huh.
she did it in an illustration of like OpenAI, Microsoft,
Yeah.
Oracle, like all the major players, including Meta. Dude, the what people are tripping out on is all the money going around in
Oh, yeah.
circles.
The round tripping.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that's what people are tripping out about. And I get what they mean. I'm not saying there is a bubble or there isn't a bubble, but if one of those players starts feeling the pinch, everyone starts feeling the pinch,
More
right?
so NVIDIA than anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
If OpenAI starts feeling the pinch, it hurts everyone.
Mhm.
And when you look at the round tripping that's happening with money, there's a few articles that I read. People have different reasonings and theories on this, but as long as the money going around in circles, these companies are all growing,
Mhm.
and it's actually causing more growth outside of the money that they're just
Yeah.
circulating between each other.
Yeah.
They're saying it's quote unquote not a bubble. But then you also hear people like Altman and a few others go on air and say like, yes, a lot of AI is overvalued and it is a bubble. And my whole take on it is I don't know if this round tripping or not is going to cause a bubble or not. I think what's really going to cause a bubble in AI is not OpenAI, not NVIDIA,
Not the big ones.
not the big
Yeah.
ones. They're making money hand over fist
Mhm.
and they're providing a ton of value.
A lot of small ones will go out of business.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the ones that are like, I do 50 million in revenue. I
Yeah.
just raised money at a 10 billion valuation.
Or all these SEO products that have raised tens of millions of dollars. I just don't understand where that's going.
Look at Bright Edge.
Yeah.
Right? It's a good enterprise product.
Jim, great guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great product.
Yeah.
And I would say it's one of the better tools out there, especially if you're a larger organization. I'm pretty sure they've tried to sell multiple times over the years. They've gotten offers. It's not easy. And it's not easy to continually get growth. These SaaS companies, I think Bright Edge is good,
Mhm.
but even if you're a good company, it doesn't mean that you're valued at $1 billion, $2 billion, $5 billion. And I'm not saying Bright Edge is claiming that,
Yeah.
but a lot of players in the SaaS world have gotten hurt really bad from this. And yes, the big players like Anthropic and OpenAI, they're here to stay.
Yep.
They're going to be valued a lot of money over time. Maybe they're valued too high right now, but they'll grow into the valuations over time.
That's a problem right now too. The valuations are very high, and then the VCs need to keep investing. They need to keep putting
Yes.
shots on goal, right? And so, but it doesn't align with all these other founders who think their company is worth that much, right? All right, so I wanted to take a moment to tell you about my podcast co-host Neil's agency called MP Digital, and they work with a whole host of global companies or a global organization. Also, Neil has SEO tools such as Ubersuggest and Answer to Public. All you have to do is go to npdigital.com to learn more, and we'll see you on the other side. So you actually mentioned McKinsey, and I kind of want to pull this stat up here. So McKinsey claims that 70% of their 45,000 employees use its AI. Do you think that's likely? So the consultancy built an internal AI chatbot called Lily, trained on 100 years of the consultancy's work and 100,000 documents and interviews. It claims 70% of the firm's 45,000 employees regularly use this tool. And so usage at the firm rolled out in 2023. Those who use it, those who use it turn to it about 17 times a week. And it aggregates key points, identifies 5 to 7 relevant internal content pieces, and points user to appropriate experts within the firm. Users can opt to have queries answered by the firm's internal knowledge repository or external sources. So this just kind of more reinforcement here. You're seeing people are like, oh, what? There's no ROI. It's a bubble, right? I think the reality is, one, the valuations aren't crazy, because you remember Cisco's valuation, the 4 PE multiple. I think it went up to like 30, 40, or 50, and then it jumped up to like 200 something. When you look at Nvidia's PE, what is it right now? The PE ratio, like 27.
NVIDIA's current PE or forward-looking PE?
Forward-looking PE, sorry.
NVIDIA forward.
Yeah, Neil's
Looking.
chatting with people right now.
Yeah. This last article here says forward-looking is 29.94.
So it's not crazy is my point.
No, it's not crazy.
Yeah, and you and I are seeing the usage in our companies too, right? It doesn't feel like, again, like you and I weren't in business in 1999, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you want to look at the hype in AI and marketing, specifically marketing, because I would say we both have a better understanding of that.
Yeah.
AI is definitely here to stay. ChatGPT has grown to 1 billion searches a day faster than Google has, but you can't just compare how many years it took Google because the internet was very different back then. Just like Threads got to 100 million users quicker than anyone else, but look at where Threads is now. No one really cares for it.
Dude, I get good reach on Threads compared to my Twitter.
Me too, because they want to push it
Yeah,
due to the fact that no one really uses it.
Yeah.
But when you look at marketing and AI specifically, it's here to stay. It provides a lot of value. I would say the biggest value it provides marketers like Eric and I is actually not the tools. It's more so OpenAI gave us ChatGPT, which is a new channel to push out our products, our messaging, and our services and get traffic and conversions from. Would you agree?
I agree.
That's actually the biggest change over anything else.
Yeah.
It's also given us technology. The technology makes our people more efficient, but the technology hasn't had as big of an impact on our organization compared to the traffic that we can generate from ChatGPT and the conversions. Do you agree with that statement?
I agree with that, yeah.
And And in marketing, would you also agree that a lot of people overstated the power of AI and how it's going to replace a lot of marketers
Yes.
by far, right?
Yes.
And would you agree your mid-level, high-level executive positions or mid-level managers, you haven't figured out how to replace them with AI yet?
No, not yet.
Bottom level, some people doing grunt work, you have.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why we both believe that the pyramid is now two pyramids stacked on each other with the bases connected and the points at the top and at the bottom.
Just call it a diamond. It was
That's
just
what I
called a
said, the
diamond. Yeah, yeah, the
diamond.
diamond. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but when I
yeah.
said diamond to
Well,
you,
it was a
you're
funnel. That was a funnel. Yeah, I had it wrong in my head. Now I can see a diamond.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a straight up it's a
yeah.
diamond.
It's like an Ethereum diamond, dude. Okay, so look, you like stats. This will be the last one on AI, real quick. So Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs has stated that companies, on average, are experiencing a 25 to 30% productivity improvement after adopting AI successfully deployed. So whatever that means, right? But here's what's interesting. So Autodesk, about 60% success rate, productivity gains when successfully deployed. UC San Diego, my college, look at that. 55% or so, right? And then you have like Adobe, Deloitte. Adobe is like pretty high, like 50% or so. So the productivity gains look, it's here to stay. I just wanted to give more stats with all this stuff because I think a lot of people are doomers and against this. But guess what? All the people that like to complain, I was watching a video. I'm not going to try to go too much into politics, but we had a mutual friend send me a video the other day, and it was somebody complaining about what does EBT stand for again? Is it the food stamp program?
I think so, yes.
Okay. So this person basically said, like, look, I get that it's important, but like it says I need to work 20 hours a week. And it's like I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna work for anybody. Like I'm a boss, I don't work, right? And the problem with that is the companies that are working hard, the people that are pushing hard, they're getting productivity gains. Whereas the people that don't want to push, that's what's gonna happen. Like you're better off pushing and having more agency for yourself. That's my point.
Yeah, but also when I look at these productivity gains, we're just getting done more with the same amount of people. Most organizations that I've talked to, at least with marketing departments, they're not looking to fire tons of people. They're
Yeah.
just looking to get more output out of their existing people and do more because it's a competitive landscape. So they got to figure out how to get more done to try to beat people.
Did you watch the interview with Andre Karpathy?
No.
Okay, so Andre Karpathy, he's a big AI guy, like legend, right? He's
Uh-huh.
worked for Tesla before. He actually helped with the self-driving stuff. He did an interview with Dwarkesh Patel. Okay,
Who?
Dwarkesh Patel. It's your brother from another mother.
I don't know who
So he's
that
got a
is.
popular tech podcast. So Mark
Okay,
Zuckerberg's been on there and all that. So
cool.
whenever you listen, like sometimes he's got some big interviews. And so the point is, Andre, who's a legend in AI, has said that AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, which is where an AI can do everything autonomously. How many years do you think that is out? Like 5 years, 2 years, 8 years, 20
I
years?
think 10 plus years for
Exactly. He said 10 plus years out, right? So he's like, we're not quite there yet. The other thing he said too, that what you just kind of mentioned, is that AI is creating mountains and mountains of slop, right? So everyone thinks that you can just use it to create a bunch of like thousands of articles and not have a human in the loop, and you can't do that, right? You need AI plus human. It can't just be AI on its own, at least for right now.
dude. I got this. Check this out. You'll love this one. I don't know if I ever showed it to you. Uh how much time are marketers spending on AI slop?
Oh, I didn't see this one.
Yeah,
This
look
is
at
great.
this.
What's 51 stand for?
This is marketing organization. So people whose team size,
Uh-huh.
not corporate team size, marketing team size
Yep.
is 51 plus. They're spending 76 minutes on average per person per day on AI slop.
Yeah.
Team size is 21 to 50. Average, they're spending 81 minutes
Yeah.
per day per employee. When your marketing team size is 11 to 20, they're spending 56 minutes on average a day with slop. And team size of 1 to 10 in marketing, 33 minutes a day on slop.
People should be taxed on if they're just creating slop without, they should be paying more per token.
Mhm.
That's what should happen. Is it just a bunch of junk the internet was always a bunch of trash, and now there's even more trash on the internet.
So much more. What's funny is, every time I go and give a speech, I always ask the question, how many of you guys are generating more revenue through AI?
Mhm. Not much, right?
Not much, but
Yeah.
now I'm getting a lot more people raising hands.
Mm.
And
Which is fast because we did that at HubSpot.
yeah, but do you want to know what they're saying right now?
What?
When they raise their hands, I say, how? They're like, oh, Chat GPT drives the sales and traffic. I
Ah,
say, okay, if you exclude that, how about from the technology that you're using within your organization? And still not really getting any hands.
yeah.
And they're saying, a lot of them are now admitting it's actually causing us to have more work with our team because it creates a lot of
It gets
inefficiencies
confusing
and
too.
bad
Yeah.
stuff, and they spend their time not just this is just AI slop, right? AI junk
Yeah.
that they have to go and fix. But what we're finding now when we talk to organizations and they don't categorize this as AI slop
Yeah.
is their team has shiny object syndrome
Uh-huh.
where they're using AI to do this cool stuff, and this cool stuff, like go create a really cool video, and they're like, oh, we never needed it. We just want to test it out and do these cool
Yeah.
things. And they're spending
So
so
it's
much time on stuff that has nothing to do
it's
with their
extra
KPIs.
unneeded work that
Yes.
ultimately is actually counterproductive.
Yes, and what they're finding is those people are struggling to get their normal tasks done that they needed to because they're using AI, but they're using AI for the wrong stuff instead of using it for
Yeah.
stuff that impacts the KPIs.
That's actually a good lesson. I think if you're a leader of a company listening to this right now, you actually have to sure, you need to champion AI, but you can't say test every tool because that's going to be counterproductive to your business.
Very counterproductive.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.